will teach an important topic, that is impulse, nerve impulse generation, conduction and transmission. Generation, conduction and transmission. Another concept-oriented topic in the neural system. You know, in our body, different types of systems are there. Systems are formed by organs, organs by tissues, tissues by cells. So in this body organization, you find body fluids, both outside the cells, inside the cells. Intracellular fluid, extracellular fluid. Intracellular fluid inside the cells, extracellular fluid outside the cells. In these two types of fluids, you find solutes are present, electrolytes are present. Electrolytes are present in the form of ions, cations and anions. And there must be ionic equilibrium. So in the body, both in extracellular fluid and intracellular fluid, ionic equilibrium is maintained. That is another point. You see, particularly in our body, nerve cells, muscle cells, they are said to be excitable cells. Excitable cells. Why they are called excitable cells? Because the cell membranes of these two types of cells are polarized, whereas other cell membranes are non-polarized. But nerve cells and muscle cells are in polarized condition. That's why we say both nerve cells or muscle cells are in excitable condition. In resting stage of the body, only two types of cells are in excitable stage because of the polarization of the polarization of the cell membranes, both axolemma with respect to nerve cells or sarcolemma with respect to muscle cells. That is the first important point. Next one. If you take the axolemma or nerve membrane of a nerve cell, plasma membrane of a nerve cell, that is axolemma. You see, in the plasma membrane of nerve cells, you find ionic channels. Ionic channels made up of protein molecules. Important point. Made up of protein molecules. Made up of protein molecules. So the plasma membrane of nerve cells or muscle cells having ionic channels made of protein molecules. And these ionic channels are selectively permeable. So the plasma membranes of nerve cells and muscle cells have ionic channels which are selectively permeable to transport of ions across the plasma membrane. Selectively permeable, the ionic channels. Next one. If you take the plasma membrane of a nerve cell, plasma membrane of nerve cell having two types of ionic channels. I told you that the plasma membrane of a neuron has number of ionic channels which are selectively permeable. Then I want to explain in more detail, which is not given in NEET. The ionic channels are of two types. Passive channels, second, active channels. Active channels are gated channels. So two types of ionic channels are present in the cell membrane of neurons and muscle cells. In NCERT, muscle cells word is not given, but excitable cells in the body are two types, nerve cells and muscle cells. Because these two cells are, their cell membranes are in polarized state. The plasma membrane are in polarized state. So since the plasma membranes of nerve cells are in polarized state, they are excitable. They can respond to the external stimulus. The nerve cells can respond to the external stimulus because of their polarized state. Because of this polarized state, important. That polarization is due to the presence of the existence of potential gradient. Potential gradient. Next one. Passive channels, through these channels, they are ever open. The passive ionic channels are ever open. So, ionic exchange takes place across the plasma membrane continuously because ionic channels are opened permanently and ions are exchanged through ionic channels by simple diffusion based on their concentration gradient. Second type of channels, active channels, in which energy is involved for opening or closing of those channels. Those are called gated channels or active channels, whose opening and closing is only by this expense of energy. Now, the active channels are of two types. Chemical channels, chemical gated channels, and second, electric gated channels. These two types of channels are selectively permeable. There are potassium channels, there are potassium sodium channels. So separately, these gated channels are present in the cell membrane made up of protein molecules. Important point. Next one. Up to that, you know it. More than that, it is very confusing, not given in AMCET. If I explain, it takes 3 to 4 hours. Suppose, because of this selectively permeable ion channels, potential gradient exists across the plasma membrane. Potential gradient exists across the plasma membrane of nerve cells. So, this is the axolemma or plasma membrane of a nerve cell. Right. This is intracellular fluid. And this is extracellular fluid. Extracellular fluid. So if you take the ionic distribution outside and inside the axolemma or plasma membrane of the nerve cell, there is variation. Here, sodium ions are present in large numbers compared to the sodium ions present inside the cell. So, concentration of sodium ions is greater than that of intracellular fluid. First important point. So, in normal conditions, sodium concentration is greater in extracellular fluid and lesser in intracellular fluid. Coming to potassium ions, the concentration is greater in intracellular fluid and lesser in extracellular fluid. Lesser, greater, sodium, lesser, greater. So the cations are balanced by chloride ions. Balanced by chloride ions in extracellular fluid. Another important sentence. And the cations of the intracellular fluid are balanced by protein anions. So two important points. The cations in extracellular fluid are balanced by chloride anions, whereas in intracellular fluid, the cations are balanced by protein anions. And concentration of these electrolytes, sodium concentration is higher in extracellular fluid, lower in intracellular fluid. Whereas potassium concentration is higher in intracellular fluid and lesser in extracellular fluid. These 2 points you have to mention, you have to write down very clear. This is the ionic gradient exists in a normal neuron, normal axon. So, in this, the ion channels are selectively permeable. Otherwise, what happens? The sodium potassium concentration in extracellular fluid becomes equal to the sodium and potassium concentration in intracellular fluid that passes through ionic channels. So there should not be the existence of polarity across the cell membrane of a neuron, but polarity is established. What is this polarity? The potential difference between extracellular fluid and intracellular fluid across the cell membrane. That is because of a peculiar mechanism. That we will discuss. In normal resting condition of a neuron, when it is not stimulated by the stimulus, what happens? You see, ionic exchange takes place across the cell membrane. Here, in resting condition, across the plasma membrane of neuron, you see, sodium is impermeable. Write down carefully. Or slightly permeable. The important one is sodium is slightly permeable. This is the correct term. Slightly permeable. Potassium is freely permeable. Potassium is freely permeable or more permeable. Potassium is more permeable than sodium. About 75% of permeability is more for potassium than for sodium permeability in resting condition across the plasma membrane. Third point. protein anions are impermeable. These sentences, these points are very important. Find out the correct statement with respect to the resting potential. A question may be asked in it. 4 characters. And chloride anions are freely permeable. You have to note down these 4 points. So in resting condition across the plasma membrane, sodium is slightly permeable. Potassium is more permeable or highly permeable, or highly permeable than sodium. Protein anions are impermeable. They are present inside or outside. Chloride anions are freely permeable across the plasma membrane. Important. These 4 points you have read down. Number 1, in resting condition of a neuron, sodium is slightly permeable across the plasma membrane, whereas potassium is highly permeable across the plasma membrane. Protein anions are impermeable across the plasma membrane. Chloride ions are freely permeable. You have to write down these 4 points. Next bit. So in a normal neuron at axial lemma, high concentration of sodium, high concentration of potassium inside the nerve cell or in intracellular fluid. So by simple diffusion, potassium enters into extracellular fluid, sodium enters into intracellular fluid, because there are passive gates. But this is not possible because a special mechanism is adopted in the nerve cells to maintain the concentration gradient. So high sodium concentration, high potassium concentration inside the nerve cell is maintained by special mechanism, what is called sodium potassium pump. So continuously this mechanism is being operated across the plasma membrane. By this mechanism, you see, through 3 nitrogen ions goes out and 2 potassium ions comes in. Across the plasma membrane, you see, thousands of these operations are being continued. Continuously, 3 sodium ions, cations are pushed out, and in reciprocation, 2 potassium ions are taken in. By this continuous sodium potassium pump, this concentration gradient is maintained across the plasma membrane. So that is another point. Sodium potassium pump. Suppose analytical question may be asked like this: across the plasma membrane of a neuron, sodium potassium pump is blocked. What happens? You see, the ionic gradation is lost. The concentration of sodium and potassium become equal outside and inside the plasma membrane. So to maintain that concentration gradient, high sodium outside and low sodium inside, high potassium inside, low potassium outside, that concentration gradient is maintained by sodium potassium pump continuously exists across the plasma membrane. By that, the concentration gradient is potential gradient is maintained across the plasma membrane. That is another important point. So in a resting condition, listen carefully. If you take the potential gradient, what is meant by potential energy? If positive and negative charges get separated, potential energy exists between positive and negative charges. When they are connected by a circuit, automatically energy is released. In the battery system also, positive and negative charges get separated. When both are connected, you see battery starts releasing energy in the form of light. That's the basic principle. That potential energy is measured in the form of volts. That is, the measure of potential energy is called voltage. And voltage is measured in the form of volts. That is with respect to physics. I need not explain more about physics. Just this is the plasma membrane of an oxon or axon of an oxon. Isn't here? Outside the plasma membrane, electropositivity is established. And below the plasma membrane, electronegativity is established. Like this. Positivity outside the plasma membrane and electronegativity inside the plasma membrane of a neuron. This can be measured by voltmeter. Suppose if we insert an electrode inside the plasma membrane and an electrode outside the plasma membrane, both are connected to a voltmeter and it shows minus 70 millivolts. The potential difference across the plasma membrane is minus 70 millivolts. Listen carefully. This is another important point. This value represents a resting potential when impulse is not originated. So this is what is called a resting potential. That is measured about minus 70 millivolts. Write down. A resting potential of a plasma membrane of a neuron is about minus 70 millivolts. This is the potential difference exists in a normal neuron when it is not excited. So it is in polarized state. The resting potential is in polarized state. It is in polarized state. Polarization of the plasma membrane. Resting potential is nothing but the polarization of the plasma membrane, where the potential difference is measured about minus 70 millivolts. This is what is called a resting potential. Okay, now stimulus is given at one point of the axon or neuron. At one point of the neuron, stimulus is given. See here. This is plasma membrane. This is A point, B point, C point, D point. In normal, in resting potential, this chapter is concept oriented. That's why I am explaining again and again. So, outside plus, there are 4 points. A point of the neuron, B point of the axon, C point of the axon, D point of the axon. Every student who is attending the Zoom class should write down the notes. Inside the plasma membrane, electronegativity is established. So, stimulus is given at A point to the axon or neuron. Now, here, by giving stimulus, the polarized state becomes a depolarized. So, by giving stimulus, A point, A region of axon becomes depolarized. Another point. So, just by giving stimulus at point A, that region becomes depolarized. What happens in depolarized state? You see, the sodium active gates or voltage gates get open. Up to the initiation of stimulus, sodium gates are closed. That's why sodium is slightly permeable in resting condition of the neuron. When once it is stimulated at a particular point, what happens? Sodium gates in this region get open. So there is sodium influx. There is sodium influx into the intracellular fluid. Sodium influx into the intracellular fluid. Just by giving stimulus at point A of the neuron, at that point depolarization takes place, and in depolarization process what happens? Sodium active gates get opened in the plasma membrane, and there is a rush of influx of sodium ions into the intracellular fluid. By the influx of sodium ions, what happens? The electronegativity inside the plasma membrane becomes electropositivity, and electropositivity outside the cell membrane becomes electronegativity. So the polarized state becomes depolarized. That means in point A, outside the plasma membrane becomes electronegative. Inside the plasma membrane, it becomes electropositive. Simply reverse of the electric charges. So here, if you measure the potential difference when stimulus is given to point A, it is measured about plus 30 millivolts. So minus 70 millivolts change to plus 30 millivolts when stimulus is given. This is what is called the conversion of minus 70 millivolts to 30 millivolts is what is called the action potential or nerve impulse. So nerve, when action potential is established inside A, we can say nerve impulse is generated at point A, important point. So what is the electric phenomenon that takes place when resting potential changes to action potential? Just the sodium gates are opened and there is a rush of sodium ions into the intracellular fluid. By that, the resting potential is reversed to action potential. That means minus 70 millivolts changes to plus 30 millivolts. That is what is called action potential or nerve impulse generation. Nerve impulse generation. Next one. You see here, listen carefully. Here, most important point that you have to understand. This is point B. This is point A. Here, the action potential is generated. Action potential is now generated, or nerve impulse is generated at point A. At point B, it is in resting potential. It is in resting potential. That is minus 70. But here, plus 30 millivolts. But here, minus 70 millivolts. It is resting potential. This is action potential, or nerve impulse is generated at point A. Now, what happens? You see, between point A and point B, electric circuits are formed. Important one. Electric circuits are formed between A and B. Between A and B. Listen carefully. From plus to minus, electric current flows from plus to minus. Here also, plus to minus. This is point B. Here also, plus to minus. So, when electric circuits are formed between A and B points, current flows from positive to negative. Positive to negative, a complete electric circuit is formed across the plasma membrane. Across the plasma membrane. Okay. What happens? Automatically, at point B, resting potential changes to action potential. That means minus, 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 plus, 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 plus. Similarly, here, plus, plus, plus,